I'd ask everybody to join with me in pledging our flag.
I pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
I think the mayor has to leave. Anyways, that's why I went ahead and got started. Okay, roll call, please.
Here.
Here. Here. Minutes from the previous meeting, you also received a copy of those minutes. Are there any additions, corrections, or discussions pertaining to the minutes?
I'll make a motion to approve the minutes.
I have a motion to approve the last meeting minutes. Do I hear a second?
No second.
I have a motion and a second. Do I hear? All in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? The ayes have it. Does anyone have old business?
Did you want to bring up the Gilhard's thing?
Oh, yeah. And I talked to the council, Spindler about the Gil Hodges situation as far as, I feel that we need to have lease agreements for everybody that is using that field. From the Cub baseball team that is, I think, operated through the school system. And then the Legion and the Junior Legion situation. I think they are all grouped in, meaning the Legion and the Junior Legion into the same area, you might want to say, as far as organization. So I don't think that's going to be a problem. I think we need to get something in writing instead of this verbal stuff that we've been doing to make sure that we are not liable for whatever we don't need to be liable for as far as using that field.
Yeah, I agree with that. I talked to Ted Bishop, the general manager for the American Legion, and he did confirm with me that they have liability insurance, that they pay for liability insurance every year, so that probably needs to be something that's in the lease agreement, that they're handling that. But I'm not sure if a lease would include Cub baseball, because that's under the school's lease, I would think. Is that not correct?
Is it exclusively North Gibson?
Yeah, it would have to be a separate lease. That would have to be a separate lease.
Where I understood it from the emails, it's a feeder program, it's not necessarily school sanctioned, so I don't know if it falls underneath the school. I guess you could contact the school board on that, or the superintendent and see.
Yeah. I don't have a problem. I think it's a good suggestion. But you think that the Legion and Junior Legion are one organization?
I also spoke
And that's
with,
what you-
yeah, I also spoke with Ted too, and he explained it to me that it was all under the same organization.
Yeah, the Junior Legion plays at Gibson Southern High School, but there are going to be occasions where they may want to play a game at Gil Hodges.
Do they practice out here?
To my knowledge, they practice at Gibson
Because
Southern
I
High
thought
School
that
as
was
well.
the conflict, was the practice scheduling.
No, not to my knowledge. I think it's the conflict was in Cub baseball scheduling and American Legion, senior American Legion scheduling.
Okay.
And all the scheduling falls in the jurisdiction of the park superintendent, is that correct?
Yes.
That's all I have.
I agree though, that we should have a contract for both organizations.
And then are they required to then keep a copy of their insurance policy on file with me?
Yes, we'll make that a part of the contract, that they have an obligation to name us as an added insured and to provide us with a copy of the policy.
Jason, depending on how you want to handle that, I can either get you Ted Bishop's contact information, or I can have him contact you.
Okay, yeah, I'll get text numbers before leaving tonight, or you can text me.
Yeah, I'll text it to you.
Okay. Any other, what was that, old business? Any other old business? New business?
I don't know if it's necessarily new business, but I think we did want to discuss possibly with Jeff and Lynn about when the privatization starts. I'm assuming will be the August 1st that they indicated in the Board of Works meeting.
Yes.
That'd be a target date, I think, August 1st. Target date?
Yeah.
I believe from what I've spoken to the other members of the council, we're under the impression that then there will no longer be a sanitation budget. But the mayor indicated about the truck and about picking up trash here and picking up trash there. Like I said, I was under the impression that once we privatized, there wouldn't be no sanitation budget, that those guys were going to be absorbed by other departments,
Well,
which means they'll start having to be paid out of those departments, because if you're not working sanitation, you can't be paid out of sanitation.
we have a number right here, it's a good question. We're right now paying in the neighborhood of $79,000 a year that we have to pull out of other departments to support the sanitation department when we have people do the fact of the vacation, sick days, on and on and on. To be able to fill that is costing approximately $79,000. That's what we're paying. So it is a good question. I don't know, I understand where you're coming from with that, but, you know, if we don't do it, we don't get the trash picked up. Our thoughts on it were, when we do go with this, it's gonna be a learning curve for all of us, not just the people that were picking up trash for us. So we're wanting to keep at least one of the trucks right now, maybe both of them, for a while, to see how this thing goes. Yes, that's our intentions, for these companies to come in and do it all. But at the end of the day, when someone calls, says, wait a minute, this, you know, there's a couch out here and all, and they're not gonna pick it up because it's in the ordinance, we're gonna have to start enforcing our ordinances. And I think it's gonna be a learning curve. So we're gonna need some people on standby, so, you know, we're not caught with the pants down.
The problem with standby is you have to allocate those monies ahead of time. And we have what I consider an issue currently with the city of paying people out of department. We've got smacked by the State Board of Accounts, and I assume we will continue to get smacked by the State Board of Accounts. I'd like for that to stop happening. So we're going to have to fine tune this to where we're not spending monies where we shouldn't be spending them on things we shouldn't be spending them on.
I really believe this will help curb it more than anything.
Absolutely.
Right, and like I say, for us, we just would take that since there's no sanitation department, then we will have no sanitation budget, is the way we looked at it. And the monies that are left there in the wages, it's not that they couldn't be transferred to other departments that absorb these guys. Of course, that has to be contingent upon council approval. But we can't keep paying people out of sanitation. I mean, we've got, 5 people that we're paying full-time out of sanitation. Jeff, you get paid half out of sanitation. And we have a mechanic that's paid half out of sanitation. I mean, you know, that's $8,400 a pay. So we're seeing that as those monies need to be absorbed by the other departments. So we're trying to figure out where these guys are going to be going to, and I'm sure Mindy and her girls would love to know as well as to where these guys will start being paid out of come August 1st or whenever it is this privatization starts.
And we'll know that. But it's still gonna be overlap. There's always gonna be some, you know, if you have.
And I understand that, Lynn, but we can't just keep throwing money out there in sanitation budget and then spend it.
We look at all the money we've been throwing in sanitation.
I know, but what I'm saying is we can't keep putting money in the sanitation budget and we're paying this guy out of sanitation while he's working for the water department.
Right.
We can't do
I
that.
agree with that. I understand.
We've got a lot of that going
That's the
on.
law.
Right.
I mean, we
Yeah.
can't do it,
Right.
but we continue to do it.
And I agree.
Yeah.
But when we do this, then we have to post these jobs, you know, these guys are gonna fill these other jobs, and we got that to go to, and then I guess at that point, then we'll be able to submit how we're gonna do that then.
So is it the expectation in that the sanitation budget will not go away completely, but it will be reduced greatly? And then the rest of that budget or those guys will be absorbed into the other departments? Is that what I'm hearing? So the sanitation budget's not completely going away?
Well, you know, we have this little thing that, the general, what is it? General fund that is, you know, I don't know how much is drawn out of that or how much goes in that.
Well, everything goes into it except fire, water, and sewer. but you still have, everything is still budgeted out, appropriated out by line item. And there's where we're getting into the problems.
Well, I definitely think that needs to be tweaked, I agree with you.
I mean, it would be nice if there was just one big pot of money and everybody took out what they needed as long as there was money in there, but that's not the way the law works, unfortunately. I mean, it would make life a lot simpler for everybody, I realize that. And I know now we call it the utilities as opposed to necessarily the water department, street department, sanitation department, sewer department, we call it the utilities. Well, unfortunately, there's not a budget for utilities. There's a sanitation budget, there's a street budget. Of course, we don't do a water and sewer budget, that's all self-funded. But these monies have to be appropriated in their line item, and we're blurring the lines terribly. We're actually erasing the lines pretty much. It's been a concern of mine for some time now, and it doesn't seem to be getting any better. And it's hard to plan for things. You never know what's gonna happen, but you have to. You have to pull out your crystal ball and make the move, make the decision.
And we've not, I don't know I know I haven't seen any numbers versus privatizing versus staying where we're at. I'm not seeing any numbers of that comparison. I don't understand how we are saving money privatizing and we're wanting to continue, because you haven't said that we're not going to continue. You haven't gave a flat out answer yet on that part of it. Whether your goal is to eliminate the sanitation budget, or is your goal to continue both, like he said, at a reduced whatever. I want to know that, because that's important. Because I don't know how we're saving money if we're going to do both.
I think the sanitation department will go away.
Okay? I mean, but we need to be,
And if you ever get back in the trash business, you're gonna have to get the money out of general fund to buy trucks.
Okay, because from the email I got from Janelle on Friday, it said we were keeping the trucks. And I'm
Well,
keeping
we're
the
not
trucks.
getting in a hurry to do anything, you know, there's a possibility those trucks could be traded in for, something else that's needed in the city. You know, just to get in a hurry and
Right.
say, you know, I mean, what do they worth? Who wants to put a dollar figure on them? They're used, they're trash trucks, I don't know. I don't know what they're worth until we get a feel of it.
We apparently have to use them for the trash pickup at the park and at the town, so that's, I mean,
I would be one,
but that was apparently a lot of the maintenance and a lot of the issues and a lot of the overhead for the sanitation department was keeping a truck. So I mean, if you keep a truck, then you gotta pay for all the other people on it.
Is there so much that we can't just pick those with a pickup,
Yeah.
those smaller
We're
personal
gonna
properties?
go see Mike a lot more.
I mean, would it not be more feasible in that situation? Well, would it not be more feasible in that situation possibly to lease, you know, a dumpster, to lease a dumpster? that
Well, that's
somebody
what I
comes
would
and
have
picks
thought,
up?
why, we should have negotiated with the trash companies where we got, you know, a reduced rate or something, or, you know, have a dumpster or use it for whatever reason. I mean, I don't know if these guys would,
I don't know how much trash that, you know, the parks and the square and that type of, those type of places generate. I would assume probably at some point, some good amount, like Heritage Days,
Oh, yeah.
there's probably quite a lot of it.
And we take care of Heritage Day.
You take care of Heritage, good man, Mike, good man.
Take care of all the
You wanna
stuff.
start picking up our parks and stuff like that?
No.
well, he does, but then again, the containers we have uptown get inundated and the city has to pick those up. I mean, you guys supply dumpsters for the merch or for the booths and that kind of thing, which we appreciate, but then again, we still get a lot of trash in the regular receptacles that we own around the square and park, that's in the apartment, so.
I did have a quick question for you guys, not that it really makes any difference, but we got the loss report thing. I just couldn't understand why it went from 79 to 210 and then back down to 83. What was that problem?
What are you asking?
On one,
We got an email on Friday from Janelle about the trash loss. It was an appropriation sheet. And then on the back of it, it's got a $79,366 loss. That was in 2014, and then in 2015, we jumped up to a $210,862 loss in sanitation.
And then
In
it went back.
15, and then it went back down to $83,153 loss. Do you have any idea where they come up with these figures? Because they didn't show
I
the
just
work.
have no idea, never seen that.
They didn't show their math, they just stuck a figure on here.
I have no idea.
No idea? Okay, well, I'll ask the source maybe, I don't know who the source is.
Unless they've got that, I don't know what they got, I'll just be honest with you.
That was 14, 15,
It's 16.
yeah. So
I mean, I can see the 79 and 83, those are right in range, but 210,015.
For what year?
2015. No, trucks in 2012, once they bought 2012 trucks in 2015. Did you buy Chevy?
I think maybe we can answer that, maybe.
Well, just get, like I said, you don't have to, I'm not trying to put you on the
I
spot.
think it's because, you know, at one time, Sherry, we were running 3 trucks. We had run 3 trash trucks.
Uh-huh.
And then Lynn combined it down to 2 and then redid the things, and I think we're up to 7 or 8.
But I think in 15, when Mr. Bryan's still in charge of sanitation,
Yep.
so that would have been his loss. I just didn't understand the huge jump and then back down. I'll ask
Well, that was 18.
Janelle or Bruce.
And it's down to 5.
But you didn't take over until last year, right? I'll ask Janelle where how they come up with the figures. Do you know?
I've never seen that.
Okay, Mindy's gonna check for me too. My savior, Mindy.
A report.
You what?
A report.
Report.
I'll look into it.
You can keep that I was emailing you to.
Claims?
I didn't have any questions. Oh, you did have
I
any
just had a
questions.
question about this, and then you can probably answer it.
I didn't have any this time around.
Water, like the
That's the fountains.
irrigation, is that just like?
Is that like a startup or something?
Make a motion to approve the claims?
I have a motion, do I hear a second?
Second.
All in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Any public comment for the common council?
This is maybe behind this, the facts that's all been talked about, but I don't remember hearing in the discussion of this privatization of trash pickup, who's paying the tipping fees to get rid of the trash?
The companies pay the tipping fees, but the common council has no decision in the privatization of trash. That is the mayor and the board of works decision. But the company that's gonna pick it up pays the tipping fees. We pay no tipping fees.
The county pays no tipping fees.
County can keep their tipping fees. Mike gets to pocket all that money. I'm just teasing, I know you don't mind.
It'd be a raise for you, Sherry.
Any,
I have one other
Yes,
comment. You talked about contracts for the baseball field and that sort of thing. The situation with Summer Explosion and the sponsorship of that event by the Lions Club has been handled very mishap by the city. I think you need to look into that situation also.
This year or previous years, or?
The last couple in particular,
is there a contract at all?
no, it's always been a verbal agreement, which I have no objection to. But the last couple of years, the Lions Club come to the city didn't come to us, and that's not how it started out. So,
Are you the president?
no, I'm an officer, but not a president.
I'll, get a hold of you tomorrow or Wednesday.
I'm sorry.
I'll give you a call tomorrow or Wednesday,
Okay.
to see about doing a contract.
Yeah, we don't have issues with that program. That's a great program.
Thank you to Lions Club for helping.
Yeah.
Yes.
Glad to be of service.
Any other public comment? Any other business from the council?
One thing I had was maybe a question, you guys might be able to answer, the Sully's property that we traded for, what's the status and where are we going?
I think they were, well, they can probably answer that better. Sully's property, Glenn,
Where we're at on the solid property.
has Sully got all the stuff out of our property?
No,
But he's in the
That's why
process.
And until July 1st.
Got it. That's all I have.
But we're not doing anything with it, right, other than just using the building for storage?
well, we're going to take the fence down, Sharon, and then we're going to rip wrap that ditch
Oh,
and stuff along there, straighten that up. The only reason we haven't done that, because that fence has to come out before we shake that ditch.
Right. Anything else?
I entertain a motion to adjourn.
I make a motion that we adjourn.
Second.
All in favor, indicate by saying aye.
Aye.